So honestly, I might quit when I'm fully healed, but I feel like I should before like something else bad happens. Well, here we are. Hey, yo guys, it's Ruby. Welcome back to another video. Okay, I want to start changing the way that I do story times. Because I've realized that my story times, like, okay, they are very interesting stories, but visually, there's nothing going on, and it's very boring. So I want to start putting gameplay over the story times. Okay, let's start from the very beginning. There's this pool by my house, and I've been friends with the lifeguards there for like 2 years. You need to be at least 16 to work there. This year, I just turned 16, so I applied to work there. Okay, you'll hear me talk about strikes throughout this video, by the way. This was strike 1. They hired me back in, I think it was end of January. And for the next like 3 or 4 months, they didn't send me any information about setting up direct deposit or training dates, nothing. So I emailed the manager lady because, okay, there's two. There's a lady and a guy. I'm going to talk about the guy later. She does not respond for weeks. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm not getting hired there, I guess. It was probably meant to be. Because keep in mind, all of my friends that work there, they got their stuff back in like February. And then one day, out of the blue, I get a text about training. So it turns out I am actually still hired. Nice. 2 weeks before the pool opened, some of the lifeguards were helping set up chairs and clean up the place. That's when strike 2 came along. My account just wasn't working, so I couldn't clock in on this app, so like I wasn't getting paid for being there. Eventually, they fixed that though. Later that same day, strike 3 came along. I had to submit a picture of 2 forms of identification. Problem was, I only had one at my house and it was due by that night. I turned it in the next day after school. Honestly, they should have said, nope, you were too late. Sorry, the deadline was last night. So yeah, I'm sorry, but you're not hired. But honestly, this company was kind of desperate for lifeguards. In baseball, 3 strikes means you're out. There is no other chances. And I believe that everything happens for a reason. So I should have taken those 3 strikes as a sign saying, nope, you're out. Then on May 18th, the same day I turned in the late submission, I injured my leg. Long story short, I injured it when biking. I'm not going to go into too much detail because I've talked about that in the past. You know what I was really frustrated about? When my mom found out that I was injured, she wasn't worried about my health. She was more worried about the fact that I wouldn't be able to work. Honestly, I was very annoyed at her throughout this whole entire lifeguarding thing because she was more worried about like me making money than my health, my safety, and my happiness. So yeah, I don't know. It was just very annoying. Okay, so keeping with the baseball theme. Okay, 3 strikes, I was out. Let's just say that this is like a brand new inning. Hurting my leg, that was the first strike on this new board. So I have in total like 3 managers. The lady and the guy that I talked about earlier. So they actually work for like the company. Like I think that they own it or they manage it. I'm not 100% sure. And then I also have a pool manager who is actually like a lifeguard with me. You know, let's call him Ted. I texted Ted about my leg and honestly, he was very like worrying. Like, I was trying to, like, tell him, oh, yeah, like, I don't think I'll be able to work. And then, like, he's like, dude, I do not care about that. Like, just, like, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, hopefully. He tells the guy manager about this situation. Let's call him Kevin. Kevin texts me saying, like, hey, so if your leg is injured, you can just, like, stay at the front desk and check people in because we're really short-staffed. Like I said earlier, this company, very desperate. He cared more about his short staff than my health. Like, I was injured. But whatever. My mom makes me work there, so I do it. For the first, like, 2 weeks, I had this ace wrap around my leg. And then for like another week or 2, I had this boot on, which that actually helped a lot. And then after the boot, I started to like walk normally again. Keep in mind, I'm still not healed. I'm just like starting to learn how to walk again and like use those muscles in my leg because I had a lot of muscle loss. Okay, anyways, yeah, so I could barely walk. Couldn't run, but I could definitely not swim because 1, that stretches out your leg, plus the cold water, which I'll talk about that a bit later. So we have these hour-long meeting things to like practice rescues and stuff like that. And keep in mind, they are every 2 weeks. First one, I just didn't get in the water, but I helped out with like the out-of-water stuff. That was totally fine. I liked that. At the second one, I'm sitting on the side like I did last time, waiting for everybody else to get in. And then the lady says, you're getting in too. I beg your pardon? So I get in and she makes us swim 2 laps. Those 2 laps just pulled and re-pulled my legs so much. I was actually the last one to finish all 2 laps. I wasn't even really using my right leg. I was mainly using my left leg, which is the not injured one, but still like my right leg was hurting because of the cold water. What the cold water did was like constrict my muscles, and that obviously was not good for my leg at all. All that progress I was making to get my leg better better was just all gone. The past 3 weeks or 4 weeks or something were just wasted. We start doing rescues, and long story short, I mess up my left foot now. That was strike 2. Look at that thing. It's all like scarred and bloody and bruised. Actually, that little bit in the middle, I now have a scar there. Yeah, so thank you, lifeguarding. One day after that, I'm working, and okay, I know I'm gonna quit that week. But when I go into the bathroom, I feel something sting into my left foot. I stepped on a freaking thumbtack. There was a thumbtack in my foot. And you know, when I told my mom this, she still did not care. So I quit that night. But actually, before I quit, I got a message from Kevin. He was basically saying, hey, since your leg is better, you must do the training. Excuse me? Who is telling you that my leg is better? Because honestly, my leg is probably worse now than it was like 3 weeks ago. But yeah, so the thumbtack in my foot was strike 3. So I'm out.